Rivers State Governor Siminalaye Fubara has announced that he would present the state 2025 budget to the Victor Oko-Jumbo-led Assembly. Fubara, who made the revelation at the commissioning of projects at Bonny local government area on Saturday, was represented by the Chief of Staff, Rivers State Government House, Edison Ehie, at the event. Addressing Oko-Jumbo, Ehie partly said, "I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your support to the Rivers State government as seen in your cooperation. The Speaker has facilitated the screening of caretaker committee chairmen, expedited executive requests, and will still play a vital role in enacting the 2025 budget." He stressed that the Assembly will stay focused despite opposition from enemies of the state or the 25 former members. Oko-Jumbo revealed that the 2025 budget would soon be presented to the 10th Assembly and confirmed that Bonny local government will be included in upcoming infrastructure projects. Nze, what do you make of this development?
Yeah, thank you very much. First and foremost, my stand remains my stand, and that is that, to me, the power abhors vacuum. And there is no how the governor can stay aloof without carrying out the function of governance in Rivers State, where he has been elected to govern. And doing what he has been doing, which he's still on course till now, I see that in as much as the 2024 budget is still in contention, and while I say it is still in contention is because some people, especially some viewers here, will agree with me that some school of thought says that it should have been presented to Martin Samuel Hule's faction of the State Assembly, and some school of thought is still saying that it ought to be, that he did right by presenting it to Victor Oko-Jumbo Assembly. And now, coming now to say, through his Chief of Staff, that he will still present 2025 budget to Victor Oko-Jumbo-led Assembly. I think the governor is simply doing what he needs to do while his detractors are busy making noise outside. I put that on parenthesis. Why his detractors are still busy making noise outside, because he has declared that the assembly he knows is the assembly that remained after some group of assembly members left. Because to the governor, there was a mass exodus of assembly members of about 27 of them in 2023 December. And the remaining ones, he won't jump out of the stair, because these people decamped. So he had to manage with the ones that he had. And the competent law at least permitted that assembly to form under Edison Ehie. And when Ehie resigned his position, Oko-Jumbo had to emerge. And governor had been working with these ones ever since then. And up till now, he is still going on with them, though there have been judgments which have been appealed. And until the determination of the Supreme Court, the governor is likely to continue with the business of governance of Rivers State. So if, since the budget ought to have been, in fact, according to the Constitution, according to the law, he should he should have presented the Constitution 3 months to the expiration.
The Constitution of the budget.
The budget, sorry. 3 months to the expiration of the previous Constitution. But even now that he has not done so, we are thinking that he's already lagging behind, and saying that he will present it to the Victor Oko-Jumbo-led Assembly, I have not seen anything wrong in it.
All right. And if I may ask, you are aware that, like you have already said, that the 2024 budget is still a matter of litigation.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons for the litigation is to make the governor, or that there has been a court judgment ordering the governor to present the budget to Martin Samuel-led House of Assembly. And appeal court affirmed that judgment, and now it's a matter of appeal at the Supreme Court. In face of the fact that already there is a judgment prior to this time telling the governor to present the budget to Martin Amehule. And even though it's a matter of appeal at the Supreme Court, do you think it is wise for the governor to go ahead to present the budget to Oko-Jumbo, considering again that the judgment affirmed Amehule as the authentic Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly and affirmed the Amehule House of Assembly as the authentic Rivers State House of Assembly?
Yes, first, the governor had to do what he had to do because he is in the business of governance and he will continue with the business of governance. And look at what the fear of the governor, number one, is that he's dealing with people who are trickish in nature, but that's notwithstanding, there is something that is very fundamental about the matter. Number one, by the time this case was instituted, this litigation that Justice Omotosho gave judgment on, which was upheld by appeal court, you discover that this Amehule group had not defected. So governor is still holding on to that. So to that judgment you are referring to now, Amehule was still a member of the house. That the contention would have been whether the speakership of Ehie and that of Amehule, which one is authentic, when Amehule was still a member. But at this point, Amehule decamped and ceases to be a member. So the judgment that started from the time Amehule was still a member is what the court is still holding. But the governor is looking at what happened after Amehule instituted that litigation. And now, Amehule is known to the governor and to some of us and some other Rivers people, Amehule is no longer a member of the assembly. So the court is giving judgment, which I believe is in its blindness. It is based on what was presented to the court, the court issued judgment. Right. Now, if the court has seen road to say, oh, what happened after this case was instituted, that's where this issue would have come. But you know that the issue of their defection is also still in court. So for the governor to go ahead to present the budget, in fact, in the eyes of the governor, if we may look at it from our view, the governor does not see Amehule and his group. All right. He's simply seeing Oko-Jumbo and his group.
All right, very well. You said in the eyes of the governor. So it means that there are two eyes right now. The eyes of the governor and the eyes of the law.
No.
The eyes of the judgment of court. When you... Hold on. Everything you have said is to make a case as to why the governor can set the judgment aside. As to why the governor can set the Constitution
No, really, aside. He has not set judgment aside. He has simply appealed the judgment.
Can you just hold on?
It's okay.
Thank you. Now, you also said that the governor needs to do what he needs to do. The governor, one would say, became a governor on the mandate of the people. And what empowers him to act is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And now, that Constitution that empowers him to act provides a quorum for certain legislations to be carried out by assemblies, state houses of assemblies. And that Constitution says 1/3 and 2/3, depending on the legislation. In this instance, and again, it also provides that a House of Assembly will have not the minimum of 24 members and the maximum of 40. But in this instance, 3 members, or in the instance of passing of the budget, 4 members then. And that has been an issue. And the governor now is saying he's still going to present budget to 3-member House of Assembly that does not even form 1/3 quorum. Let's just assume that everything you have said, is right. Let's just assume, without conceding, that your sentiments in this matter, we are to go with your sentiments in this matter. The Constitution provides a minimum number for legislation. Would you say that Oko-Jumbo, the 3-man faction, it forms a quorum to legislate on the appropriation bill of Rivers State?
Good. I thank you for that. Now, let us look at it critically. the law, the constitution. As at when this budget was presented, what we had was 4 members. Because out of the 32 member House of Assembly, 27 lost their seat. And the then speaker was quick enough to call on the electoral umpire to conduct a by-election in all these places to fill in the vacant seat so that the job of legislation will continue. Now, it is in the fault of the electoral umpire to conduct that election, which they later last time came out to say that the reason why they couldn't conduct election was because of conflicting court judgments and all that. That is a question for them to answer. But to the governor, the people that remain, because River State cannot be halted, River State must be kept on moving. So the mobility of the state must be kept on. Right. So the people that were available were the people the governor is using, and is still insisting that INEC should conduct election to fill in these open spaces.
Very well. Chizi, I will come to you to ask you what you think. But very quickly before I ask Chizi, it's important to know that you have not answered my question when I asked you, in line with the provision of the Constitution, if 3-man House of Assembly, in line with the provision of the Constitution, can legislate and pass an appropriation bill into law. You've had your says, and it's time for Chizi to talk. But it's worthy of note that you didn't answer that question. Probably Chizi will answer it from his own standpoint. Chizi, what do you make of the story for Fubara to present 2025 budget to Oko-Jumbo-led Assembly?
Well, Larissa, you know, when you were throwing your question, I almost said, okay, it's finished, because, I mean, that's the position of the law. And I wanted to say there are in-betweens that we need to look at very, very well. Okay. For me, I may not be right. I would think that I would hold brief for my governor, that he would have been the one who said that. I'm sorry to say that, because I do not think that, even though he's being represented by a no small person than his chief of staff, even though I do not see him as chief of staff because he has not resigned from the assembly, and so he cannot be chief of staff. So from the man who went there to represent him in whatever office he feels he occupies, after all, whether you're a chief of staff or the SA to the governor, anybody can represent the governor. Is a product of law. That office of the governor, it is not in the governor to tell us who is a member of the assembly or otherwise. There are no conflicting opinions. The judgment is not an opinion. A judgment of a court is not an opinion. Just note that. But before I even come to that judgment, let us look at the constitutional provision. There are three things the Constitution has said in regarding to assembly. One is that no state will have less than 25 members of the assembly. No state. Meaning that even Bayelsa, if you look at Bayelsa, if you look at when we were in River State, you know that Bayelsa is made up of 4 or 5 local governments that left here. As small as that state is, they cannot have less than 25 members of the assembly. I don't know that. That's the Constitution. Now, secondly, the Constitution also provides that not less than 1/3 of the assembly have the right to form quorum to sit. Now, in this instance, assuming that all that is there said is correct, and God forbid that is correct, assuming that they are correct, that the 27 members left, the Constitution did not also leave us like that. Leave the governor, like he said, the governor couldn't have done anything. They wrote the INEC, and INEC has not conducted the election. The Constitution didn't also leave the governor like that. What the Constitution left the governor is, should that happen, in the first 90 days, the National Assembly will come and begin to legislate on our behalf. So it's not even them, because having not met the quorum, it is assumed within the law that River State Assembly cannot sit, because they have not met that. So assuming that he wanted to do the right thing, that is assuming that is even right. Assuming that he is not also going to recognize the Martins Amehule-led Assembly, not led fashion, it's not a fashion. Assuming that he's not going to recognize them, that, okay, has he written the National Assembly to say, look, oh, there's a vacuum and this election has not been conducted, then come and legislate until such a time where we have the quorum to begin to do our own thing. He hasn't done that. And so he has chosen those who were on suspension and brought them back. His assembly, his aides on legislative matters, who says in the government house to begin to pass budget. Let me tell you something. The position of the law is that until you are found guilty, you are not guilty. They said they have defected. They said, I'm talking about the governors, said these people have defected. A court of competent jurisdiction have told you that these persons are still recognized. Then you went to appeal. Appeal also told you that they are recognized. And that budget, the appropriation, the Rivers State did not have an appropriation bill law in the first instance. And then you are not coming to commit instead of, and then the assembly came back and said, okay, come and submit the budget or represent the budget. You are coming back to say that you are, instead of even not doing that, you are going to send back the 2025 budget, meaning that Rivers State will not have 2 budgets in 2 years. That's what it means. You see, sometimes we must remove sentiment when we are talking. This is not about what you know. This is not about what we know. The court has said something. So what I would have assumed, let me give you one instance. In 1992-93, there's a governor in Lagos State called Michael Otedola or something. Otedola. Michael Otedola. Michael Otedola was of the NRC. And the SDP constituted the assembly. And now the NRC was in court with the SDP. And then he went to present his budget. Do you know what he said in the budget? Where he was presenting his budget? He said, for today, until the court rules otherwise, I recognize you. Until the court says so. He said, if I recognize you, because whatever law you pass now, because, you see, judgments are not retrospective in nature. That means that, for instance, if Omeha was here as governor, even though the court says Omeha wasn't governor, everything, including the person Omeha nominated as deputy, became deputy. Including the persons that he inaugurated as assembly, and maybe didn't go to inaugurate another person. Do you know why? In the eyes of the law, as at the time he was there, he was still acting, and he was still the governor until Amechi took. So Amechi will begin to act from where he stopped. Now, assuming that you also believe, since you are not judiciary, you believe that the Supreme Court is going to remove these persons. Till the Supreme Court says so, you are going to be obeying the law and submitting the budget. That is leadership without sentiment. If I'm the one to present the budget, I will still go there and say, we are in court with you, we are going to appeal this thing until such a time. Because the court will not quash that. The decisions of the assembly, the court will not quash it. All the court will say, you know why the court says that every decision taken by Oko-Jumbo is to its extent null and void? It's because they were into the first instance. If they were, within which, that is why you see that, for instance, in 2015, the APC took Wike to court. Isn't it? They went to Wike to court. They won Wike in the court of first instance. And won Wike in the court of second instance. But between that time, Wike was still acting as governor. Until the Supreme Court. But then the Supreme Court now said Wike was the governor. And that's what will happen. The same thing happened in Nosodema. The same thing happened anywhere. So until there's a court that has quashed that decision, and when they take that decision and pass it, no court will say that is illegal. Because at the time they were still legal. So the governor would not have submitted that budget. And now, because I don't want to go back to say whether Martins Amehule defected or not. Court has told me whatever argument I'm going to argue that he has not defected. That's what the court has said. Court said he is the authentic speaker. And court has told you that the budget you have is to its extent illegal. So if I come now and tell you that governor gives you money that's a stolen money, I am not wrong. Because if it's illegal, it's not because the constitution also provides that a governor cannot spend money from the consolidated revenue fund without a budget. And the court has said we do not have budget. And then he wants to now take another budget when we do not have the first budget to another illegal assembly. Illegal leadership, let me use the word because they were elected. Illegal leadership to say they are going to give them that thing. You see, The Bible says this, and I want to quote that. The Bible says, woe to a nation whose springs is a child, because they eat in the morning. You know what that means? That means, you know, a child is very eager to do things out of sentiment, cry because somebody is eating the other one, do the other one because of somebody is doing the other one. See, Lorisha, even if you have an enemy number one as the speaker, as long as the court has said the man is a speaker, you will deal with him. In fact, it is even better to deal with an enemy as speaker than to deal with a friend. Let me tell you why. The reason is simple. I stay in the place of the law and do things rightly. Nobody can say otherwise. If you do things rightly, if you submit the budget, and this budget is budget, the speakers won't come and say, "God," that's if there's something like that, to say, "Pass this one for us," or "Do this one for us." No. Because you know, I'm presenting this thing. In fact, somebody like me, before I even present it, I will read it to the entire public. This is what I'm presenting to. I will read everything verbatim, so that you will not know whether you're going to do it or not. But you see a situation where somebody, and that is the same person that want to run to court. I am warning them. Tomorrow, you people will say the court has given us one item to impeach the governor. And that item is that the appropriation of Rivers State, that we do not have an appropriation law. And the governor is spending money of Rivers State from an illegal means. That is enough impeachment stand. People are not listening to me. I once told people, I said, today, I do not have anything. My wife is loving me now. You are not saying that she is doing juju. It is when I now begin to reciprocate by giving her money. Today, he is doing flagrantly disobeying court orders, flagrantly doing things like he is a sole administrator, flagrantly, even military administrators does not do that. He is doing that, and nobody is seeing that. And we are talking about people that the Lord of First Sisters have said they are. The Court of Appeal has said they are. And then you are in Supreme Court. And then let me tell you the danger. If you are going to Supreme Court and you are not obeying court law here, you're putting yourself in trouble. You're putting yourself in trouble because you're not even getting the sympathy of the people. So we should be careful.
All right.